Welcome back to another episode of If You Give a Mouse a Meeple, a video series that teaches you how to play some of your favorite board games. My name's Aaron from the Board Game Brothers, and the game that we're going to go over today is Carcassonne. So, let's get right to it. To set up a game of Carcassonne, you need to take the dark background tile and place it face up in the middle of the table, and that's going to be the starting piece that everybody plays off of. Then you take the rest of the tiles, you shuffle them up, and you put them in stacks of 3 or 4 somewhere on the table, just so that it's easy access for players to reach and grab one. Then you're going to place the scoreboard on the table, and then you're going to choose a color and take all 8 meeples of that color. And one of those meeples goes on the 0 points for the score tracker. Everybody starts at 0. And the other 7 become your stockpile of meeples that you use throughout the game to place on the board. There are 3 actions that a player goes through on their turn: placing a tile, placing a meeple, and scoring a feature on a tile. There are 5 types of features on tiles: cities, roads, monasteries, villages, and fields. To place a tile, the turn player draws 1 tile from any of the face-down piles on the table. They then place it face-up on the table next to an existing tile or tiles, making sure that it continues the landscape of the previously played tiles. For example, roads can only extend from roads, cities can only extend from cities, and fields can only extend from fields. A tile may be placed next to more than 1 face-up tile as long as it follows these rules. After you place a tile, you may place one of your meeples on one of the features of the tile you just placed: on a road, on a city, on a monastery, or on a field. You cannot place a meeple on a village. If you place a meeple on a field, place it laying down. Meeples placed on fields remain there for the rest of the game. If you do not have any meeples left in your supply, you cannot place any this turn. You cannot place a meeple on a feature that already contains a meeple. It is possible, however, for a feature to contain more than 1 meeple. If a tile is placed so that it now connects a previously unconnected feature, then all meeples on that feature are now sharing it. Depending where you place your tile, you may cause a meeple on a feature to score. Each feature scores in a different way. To score a meeple on a road, that road must be closed, either by connecting to a village, a city, a monastery, or by looping into itself. When a road scores, it is worth 1 point for every tile that makes up that road. To score a meeple on a city, that city must be enclosed by walls and not have any empty spaces within it. When a city scores, it is worth 2 points for every tile that makes up that city, plus 2 additional points for every coat of arms in that city. To score a meeple on a monastery, that monastery tile must be completely surrounded by tiles. When a monastery scores, it is worth 1 point for every tile surrounding it, including itself, for a total of 9 points. When a feature scores, the player with the most meeples on that feature gets all the points. If 2 or more players are tied with the most meeples on a feature when it scores, they all get the total points that the feature is worth. After a feature scores, all meeples on that feature return to their owner's supply. The game ends when the last tile is placed on the table. At the end of the turn in which the game ends, all features that still have meeples on them score. Each incomplete road is worth 1 point per tile that makes up that road. Each incomplete city is worth 1 point per tile that makes up that city, plus 1 point per coat of arms. Each incomplete monastery is worth 1 point per tile surrounding it, including itself. Each field is worth 3 points per each adjacent completed city touching that field. Fields only score at the end of the game. After all points have been scored, the player with the most points wins. And that's how you play Carcassonne. So Mousy, what did you think of this game?
It was fun! I liked how you made the board slowly by placing the pieces down turn by turn. It was cool! Yeah!
It really was. I liked it too. Well, that's the end of another episode of If You Give a Mouse a Meeple. We hope to see you next time, and until then, remember, if you give a mouse a meeple, he may want to play. Bye, everybody.